Check 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Bruce, how are you doing, man? Can you hear my voice okay? Just checking my microphone real quick. Can you hear me now? Eric, what's up? Can you hear my voice okay? Oh, good. This is me just hanging out on a Friday about 12:30 in the afternoon. And it's just a nice, quiet Friday afternoon. Hopefully some people will start coming in here in a little while. If it gets real busy, I'll have to just kind of log off on you guys real quick. But I appreciate you guys being here with me so far. Gives me something to do. I don't have any guitars to work on right now. I mean, there's always something that I could grab off the wall and try to shine it up. Joey, how are you doing? But as of right now, I think I got everything well in order. BB, how have you been, man? My buddy Carlos, how have you been, Carlos? So it's good to see you. Carlos has been a good friend that comes in all the time. I haven't seen him in about a month, though. Eric bought a Marshall cabinet, and it had the purple Tolex on it. And I'm glad you enjoy that thing. Yes, this is an old Gibson. Once in a while, I'll get my hands on something that's old like this. This is an early 70s Gibson Heritage. And this is that big old bridge on this thing is called like a Batwing bridge. And this is not the original bridge. I had a new one built for it. The old one was broken off right here. And so I did a trade, and I traded a really nice guitar to get this. I traded away a Schecter that had a Sustainiac in it. And all you guys that come in my store, you guys all know exactly what guitar that I traded. It was a blue Schecter. I bought it from Philip McKnight, and I traded it for this thing. I'm always horse trading. I mean, you know, just to keep the excitement level up. What's nice about it, there's never been a headstock injury on it. So 1970s Gibson Heritage. It's missing the paper label on the inside. But I've had a lot of work done to it, and she's in good shape right now. Rico, what are you doing in Orlando? Rico's an airline pilot, so he's always flying around. Thanks for hanging out with me today, brother. Is this maple back inside? It's kind of cool right here. You can see that it has been split down the middle and put, both sides there. I guess maybe it is maple. Yeah, you guessed the song. Sometimes you're like, man, I suck so bad on guitar. The average person's not even going to know what I'm trying to play. Thanks, Rico. I'll see you when you come in. Just again, quiet day today. Got this old Gibson. And I'm going to try to angle my camera down a little. Here we go. There you go. Now you can maybe see the guitar a little better. Let's see if we can stick a capo on this thing. Wow! Name that average played song. Can you name the averagely played song? Yep, BB got it. So I'm just chilling out at the shop today. Nothing going on. Kind of bored. I think I have everything repaired. The latest videos that I've done, this dude named Johnny brought in a 1963 Gibson Hummingbird just to show us. He's playing show and tell. And he bought it from Brian Ray. And we did a video about that. And it's a great video because this guitar has a great story. It was owned by Brian Ray. And Brian is actually Paul McCartney's guitar player. So I encourage you guys to watch that video. It's just a cool one. When Mark Agnesi went to Brian Ray's house over there in Palm Springs, they toured his house, but they also looked at all these guitars that Brian owns. And that was one of them. So my buddy that lives right here in town, Johnny, he got his hands on that thing. This thing plays great. Yeah, BB, Glenn has moved down to, I think he moved to Bisbee, Arizona. Oh, there's Quentin freaking James right there. Yeah, Dave Reese, you guys know him, DR Guitars. He hung out here in my shop. Was it yesterday or was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. And he sat and he played this thing and he's like, damn it, why'd I have to see that? Now I want that guitar. Oh shit, there's this big deal going on. Damn it, I want that guitar now. And he goes, what about the 2 consignment pieces I have in here? And I said, no. So I'm trying to, sometimes you do a bunch of trades and you keep trading. Eventually somebody has to give you cash for something. So this is one of those kind of guitars that I'm waiting to cash out on instead of continuously. I'm always trading, and sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 or 4 trades to get into an item, and at that time you just want to cash out. So unfortunately for Dave, I'm not ready to. I'm ready to cash out on this one. I don't want to do any more trading. Underdog, how are you, man? Thanks for being on today. So we've been doing a few things here at the shop. Got a lot of, I've ordered a lot of Fender items, and it takes Fender like a long time right now to get caught up on their orders. I've ordered pedals, I've ordered stands, and it's just taken them forever. And for me to be the next tier, if I wanted to be a Squire dealer, then what you can do is you just get a hold of my Fender rep, and for about, I think it's $10,000, I could be a Squire dealer, which gives you Squire guitars, of course, but there's a lot of cool Squire guitars out right now. And you could get all their solid state amps. And my opening order, I believe, would be $10,000. But about a month ago, when I talked to my sales rep, who lives right here in Scottsdale, he's like, dude, even if you did give us that $10,000, we couldn't fill the orders right now. We don't even have enough people working in our warehouse. If you guys are looking for a job, if anybody's looking for a job right now, and they're anywhere close to a Fender, factory, or any guitar factory whatsoever, all those guitar factories are looking for employees right now. A Rancher Falcon Jumbo Acoustic. Wouldn't trade it for anything. That's good. I have 2 different kind of guys. There's 2 different kind of guys that come in. Guys that want to experiment with the guitar, and 6 months later, they trade it in, they go to something else. Or there's the guys like yourself. You buy a guitar, you love that guitar, you hold on to it forever. That's true, man. Get yourself a Squire. If you're getting to the point now, here's another thing. I was watching a video earlier this morning, And because now that COVID is over, there's every band in the world that's been sitting around not doing anything for the last 18 months, they're all ready to go back out on the road now. And so if you're any kind of a guitar tech, so there's going to be a lot of openings for touring guitar techs. If you can tune a guitar, if you can keep a dozen guitars tuned up and ready to go, and you want to tour with a band, and there's going to be opportunities there where you can go out, and if you want to travel, if you don't have a bunch of kids in the house, or you don't have a mortgage and you're available to travel, there's a lot of bands out there right now that are going to have openings for guitar techs that want to travel with them. And the best way to do that is to get yourself a bunch of Squires that you only have to pay 50 or 100 bucks for, and you pull those babies apart, and then you put them back together, and then you pull them apart again, and then you put them back together, and then you adjust the string height, and then you put different gauge strings on them, and you just mess with those things. So you learn how to do that stuff, because there is a lot of opportunity. Every band that hasn't played in the last 18 months, they're booking their tours right now. And a lot of those guitar techs, they would go on the road with a certain band, and then that tour would last, 3, 4, maybe 6 months, 9 months maybe. And then they'd move on to the next band that's ready for their tour, and they'd constantly be working. But now there's going to be every band that hasn't played since COVID hit. They're all going to hurry out onto the road and be trying to play gigs. And there's opportunities now. If you guys are single and you feel like you want to tour on a bus with a band, there's a lot of openings right now in the music business. What's the best way to view the store's inventory? Thunder Falcon. I'm sorry to say there is not a good way to view my inventory, because I don't do that very often. You can just I don't sell stuff online. This is just for my local guys that come in. The Charvel in the case. Do I still have that Charvel in the case? Huh. Oh, yeah. I do. It's the cases that you're talking about, the clear display case wall hanger thing. I do still have that. It's the Warren D. Martini Charvel. I do still have that. James, I'm doing great, man. Delayed reaction. Bruce, I love those contemporary series Squires. The headstock is painted, same color as the body. You've got the 2-point trim. You got Alnico pickups in it. Those are great guitars. I have one over there. I've sold them. I've done YouTube videos about them. If I could buy those brand new from Fender, I'd buy those things all day long. And those brand new ones where it's got the 2 pickups mounted in there at an angle, and I like the Squire stuff. They're putting roasted maple on them nowadays, and the Squire stuff is really good stuff. If you some of the older ones, if you just want a cheap guitar to work on setups and things like that, they're great for that. I've played Squire. I have a Pete Wentz Squire bass, and I've taken that thing to the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood. I played the Whiskey in Hollywood on a Squire bass, and I have no problems as a bass player. Now, I know that as a guitar player, it's a little bit different because, of course, they don't play as nicely as the Made in Mexico stuff or the USA stuff, but you can get them very close, some of the Squiers, the bodies are thinner, the pickups maybe don't sound as good, but there's a lot of dudes that love the Squier stuff, and you can play the Squier stuff. It's not that bad. The old Squier Japanese stuff is really sought after and really good stuff too. Louisiana. All right, so he's got a chance to buy a Marshall half stack, the MG 100. Is it worth $300? No. For $300, I think you can get, well, yeah, usually I sell, if I get an MG, Marshall MG head, I try to sell it for about $100 to $125. And the cabinets I sell for $100. So I'm going to say that is not a good deal. $200 would be better. $300, whoever you're buying it from, is pretty much trying to get their money back. Am I going to GNR? Am I going to GNR? I'm spacing out what GNR is right now. I'm sorry. GNR. Am I going to Guns N' Roses? Probably not. I saw Guns N' Roses in, what year was it? Twisted Sister opened up. I'm going to say 88. So, no, probably not. I wouldn't mind seeing Wolfie's band open up. Wolfie Van Halen, Mammoth, they're called. And, you know, here's some of my thoughts on Mammoth. Now, of course, you know that Wolfie was in Van Halen. And so the people that know who Wolfie is are a bunch of older guys like us, a bunch of 50-year-old guys. We know Van Halen. We love the Roth Van Halen. We went to their last tour in, 2015 was the last time I saw him, and Wolfie was up on bass, just shredding. Out here in Phoenix, it was super hot, and he didn't look like he was having a good time whatsoever. And he came off kind of pompous, in my opinion. If I was in Van Halen, man, I'd be having a riot. You know what I'm saying? And Wolfie was just acting like it's just my everyday day job and, nothing cool about it. But Wolfie appeals to the 50-year-olds, but his music that he has written in the new album, and it's a great album, but the new album appeals to 20-year-olds and maybe guys in their 30s. So he's opening for Guns N' Roses because he's a throwback, 80s throwback artist, but he's going to be playing his new music, which is geared to the younger generation. So he's really changing genres on us by opening for Guns N' Roses and then going out there and playing his style of music, which is like 90s indie rock. He's really he's thrown a wrench in the mechanics, and so it's, in my opinion, he probably shouldn't go open for Guns N' Roses. I think he should go open for a 90s band that would be like, oh my God. And then the young generation would be like, this guy's really good. These people that are watching I don't want to say Nickelback, but one of those bands from the 90s that was kicking ass, even a band from the 2000s, early 2000s that was kicking ass. One of those kind of bands would be better to take Wolfie out on the road with that, because that's the style of music that he's playing. Opening up for Guns N' Roses and playing his stuff, the average guy in the audience is going to give him respect because he's Eddie's son, but musically it's not going to, I don't know, he's trying to change genres on us. It's like almost, you could almost have a, country band, you know, open up for Guns N' Roses. If Wolfie was, what if Wolfie was playing country, right? And he would still get gigs opening up for Guns N' Roses and stuff. Anyhow, some babbling on going right there. Just babbling on. That is true. We're talking Squire still. Jason's in Germany. Everything is doing really good for me, Jason. Thank you so much. Good luck to you over in Germany. I hope you're having a great time out there. It is going great today. The reason I live stream sometimes is because there's nobody in the store right now. This place is Deadsville. And it maybe has something to do with the Arizona heat, maybe being a Friday afternoon. Other shop owners have told me that Fridays are tough sometimes because guys are trying to wrap up their week. They're trying to get that paycheck. They're trying to wrap things up. So, yeah, sometimes Friday afternoons are kind of tough. No, the Fuji Gen Les Paul has left the building. He's loving those Mustangs. Lawrence, how are you? Everything is doing really good, Lawrence. I had a used Cocopelli that I sold week or so ago, and things are good. If you want to bring me a couple of pedals, I will definitely buy them from you. I'm interested in reverbs and delays, and I think you have new reverb and delay pedals out, right? So I love that kind of stuff. Being in a used guitar shop, you know as well as I do, everybody, there's an abundance of distortion and overdrive pedals. But when it comes to getting my hands on a delay pedal or a looper pedal or, you know, a good reverb pedal, those are kind of few and far between. So any of that stuff, Lawrence, please bring some in anytime, any Saturday, bring some stuff in. I'll buy stuff from you. Thank you. Scary good. I think we're still talking about Squire stuff. Fit and finish is scary good. Okay, I'm losing my order. I like to highlight these, and I know you guys can read them in the comments, but if I highlight them, I can read them off without putting my cheaters on. Nobody wants to see me in these things. No, it doesn't matter. All right. So let's see what James is up to. What did it sell for? I'm not allowed to say. Honestly, I forget. You know what I did is it had those hammer rail pickups in it. Made by the guy that makes Reverend guitars. He also made these pickups. And we were sitting there talking about it, and I was this close to making a deal on that guitar. And I had an old set of Gibson T-tops from the 70s. And I told the guy, hey, I'll tell you what. I'll take those hammer rail pickups out. I'll put in some old Gibson pickups. And then will you do the deal? And he's like, yeah, I'll do the deal then. So sometimes you got to pull pickups out of stuff and swap things around. A big live music scene in this town. I'm going to say yes. There seems like all the musicians are itching to play and things are doing good. And there's tons of venues out here when it comes to like venues that hold 2 or 3,000 people, like the Marquee Theater, things like that. And of course, you've got the giant shows. You've got Cardinal Stadium. You've got stadium tours can play here. You've got basketball arenas that are available. You've got the hockey arena that is available. And again, Cardinal Stadium, where they had, I saw the Rolling Stones there 15 years ago. And then you've got a ton of little tiny bars. And you know what I did for the last 10 or 15 years? I was in a little tiny punk rock band. So I would strum my guitar as fast as I could, and I would sing and scream and songs that I wrote. And I would go play little seedy little punk bars in downtown Phoenix. And I had some great times doing that. But when you're in a punk rock band, you get your 45-minute slot or your half-hour slot, and then the next band comes in. And so you would sit there and you'd watch that next band. And then the band after that, you would sit and watch that next band. So I would go out and I would see 2 or 3 bands, at least 2 or 3 bands every weekend. If my band was out playing and we would try to play 2 or 3 times a month, then I would end up seeing 6 or 7 bar bands in the meantime. And some of them were really freaking good stuff. And the more you kind of got into it, and then you would start to, the punk rock community in Phoenix 10 or 15 years ago, man, we all joined together, because to put a good punk show on, you didn't try to be the headliner, and you would try to get all your friends from the other cool punk bands together, and then you would put shows together. And so we all teamed up together, and there was none of this rivalry that the 80s hair metal stuff used to go through, where they would try to talk shit about all the other bands and all this kind of stuff. The punk rock scene, you guys are all friends. So it's a completely different thing. But I think there is a big music scene in this town. And just a mile down the street from my store is a sports bar and grill, and it's called O'Kelly's. And every Friday and Saturday night, they have cover bands. So from 9:30, they usually start at 9:30 and they play till 1:30. So if you want to watch 80s covers, you've got that bar. It's free to get in. It's a mile down the street. It's been my local hangout for probably about 13 years. I finally started going there in about 2009, just because it was close to home. We had a great bar called the Hollywood Alley, another mile up the street. There's another great bar over by ASU, Arizona State University, that is called the Yucca Tap Room, and that place had tons of cool punk bands in there and all kinds of great bands. And then I would do a lot of open mic nights. So I mean, before COVID hit, man, I could go to this place called The Bench, and I could sit there and I could strum a big old guitar. I'd have a whole full band behind me, keyboard players and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm rambling on, but I think there's a good scene in this town. And I don't know if it's exactly how it used to be. Everything sort of changes, but how is the new location working out? It seems like it's a little bit better, because what I'm doing is I'm right next door to a thrift store, and I put a big sign on my window that says "We buy guitars." And I think I'm starting to get a little bit more spontaneous shoppers that are at the thrift store, and they see a guitar shop right next door and they come over. There's also a Firestone in the parking lot, and there's a Safeway, at the end of the at the end of the plaza here. So there's a lot more foot traffic. And honestly, I'm not going to know. I keep telling everybody, I'm not going to know for a year or so if the new shop, the new location is working out better for me. Everybody that comes in, they seem to love it, and I'm getting more foot traffic. But I won't know for about a year or so if it's actually doing better for me, because then I'll be able to see. Because the only way you can know if it's doing better is by looking at how much money is in your banking account. And so it cost me a lot to move. And I haven't made up that amount of money moving over here. The sign out on the face of the building cost me almost $4,000, and the new alarm system. And I haven't really even gotten my money back on that kind of stuff yet. There you go, Jason. The Joyo stuff is inexpensive, and it seems like it works good. I haven't seen any that are malfunctioning. That's good, man. New places are opening up. Thank God this virus is almost over. I had both of my COVID shots the other day because I didn't want to be sitting here in the shop and, having to wear my mask and having people being afraid to come in here because I don't have a mask on. And so playing the scratchers. All right, guys. So 22 people in here. All right, here's what I'm going to do for a minute, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to grab a guitar. I'm going to show you guys something that has come in recently, all right? So give me a second. Just for conversation purposes, this is a Hagstrom, 1960s, made in Sweden, right? I've been getting a lot of these guitars from the 1960s. I've gotten a lot of little Silvertones. I've gotten a lot of little Teiscos, Tiesco, and that kind of stuff. And they're slowly selling. But yeah, there's this little Hagstrom. These were made in Sweden. Kind of cool. So I got my hands on a gem. This is the RG 505. So this is not the 777 that you're used to seeing. This is a 505. You got the monkey grip right there. They only made this guitar for, I believe, 2 years. So you don't have the string, you don't have the of life, the vine inlays. It has stock Ibanez pickups instead of the Evolution DiMarzios, but it's still got the same bridge, and it is the Gem 505. They're super rare. They only made these for about a year or two, and it's super cool guitar, fast action, very thin neck, and you gotta love this kind of stuff. So, hey Janice, how are you? So I got my hands on a Gem 505. It's Not a Gem Junior. Don't confuse it. Gem 505. So I also recently got my hands on an LTD, the Kirk Hammett, and this is the KH602. It has the EMGs in it. Very nice condition. A lot of times these are all scratched up, and they also made these where they were sort of factory relic, but this is not that. Those factory relic ones, you know, where they have little chips along here and everything. This is not one of those. This is the KH602 with EMGs, and she's really in really good condition. So to do trades and end up with something like this has been kind of fun, getting this thing in here. You grab something else. This one is a Gibson. I recently got my hands on this. And this is the Gibson No Finish Guitar, NFG, I believe is what they would call this guitar. Yeah, look at that. That gem is a nice one. Yeah, sometimes, you know, you can, some people have that, the LTD 402, and they love them. But again, man, a lot of times it's all about that setup. Kent, please, don't even go there. Jason, I think he probably played it when it was, when it had first come out. I think that one is from 2010, but I don't know if he played that one. Man, I had a stinky Gibson. Yeah, you remember that, James, from a long time ago. No, this one smells nice, but I got a Gibson traded in. James is just talking about a couple of years ago, I got a Gibson traded in, and Rico actually owns that guitar. If you see Rico in the chat, I got a Gibson traded in, and the dude was a heavy smoker, just like cigarette in his mouth all the time. His guitar's in his lap. That smoke is just melting into the finish of that guitar, and I bought that guitar, and I was like, oh God, okay, I guess we'll do a trade. And we tried everything. I took lemon oil and I rubbed the guitar, and I left it out of its case for a week. We put these big old bags of like to take the humidity out of everything and to try to soak up scents. We did all kinds of stuff. Oh, here's Rico. It doesn't smell anymore. It's been a couple of years now. But yeah, you got the scent out of it. And the guy that traded that in, he couldn't smell it. Yeah, this is a cool one. This is very unusual. Rico. Yeah, Rico took that guitar off my hands. And it was kind of a cool thing that he did because that guitar stunk. And we did everything we can do to get the scent off of that thing. Yeah, so there's this thing. All right, let me grab something else. We're on a roll right now, guys, right? You ask me questions, okay? Keep it going. Keep it going. A stinky Schecter. Dryer sheets, okay, for about a month. Oh, and then it smelled like flowers for 6 months after that. Rico bought the ozone generator to remove the smell. That sounds like a good idea. I remember that. That was a struggle getting the scent off of that guitar. Pack some weed under it, yeah. Be the only thing you could do. But there's ways around it. All right, so I have recently gotten my hands on this thing. This is the Music Man JP6. So this is an American-made guitar. Made in California. And the JP6, I have a really nice hard shell case that goes with this one. You can see it's got that 5-bolt neck plate. Minty condition. I bought this guitar from Philip McKnight about 6 weeks ago. And he's got a great guitar collection. And I don't know if you guys watched his video from a couple of weeks ago, but he actually did a video about his guitar collection. And I sat there and I watched that thing, and I'm very proud to say that 4 of the guitars from Philip McKnight's, video guitar collection, what am I trying to say? 4 of those guitars from that video, I sold him. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, so here it is, the JP6. And what's interesting about this guitar is there's a lot of great interesting things about it. But the pickup selectors are right here in the seat. See when you're strumming your guitar, where your hand is at? So he tried to put everything right in that same position to make it really quick to get to. Great playing, beautiful bird's eye maple on the back of this neck. Let's see if I can show you some of that. There's a little bird's eye in there. Yeah, there is. What's funny is guys come in and they talk about how pretty a piece of wood is, how pretty a guitar is. But if you just went home and looked at their coffee table, the coffee table looks way better, but nobody talks about that. That's I always see that as very, very funny. Yeah, I always think that's hilarious when guys come in and they talk about how pretty the wood on the neck is, how pretty things are. And then if you would go home and look at their coffee table, man, their coffee table just blows it away, any guitar. Quality of guitars that you carry these days compared to when you started this next level. Thank you, Jason, for that, those kind words. Rico, be safe, brother. Make sure you've got your pilot's license with you when you're flying around the whole world. Okay? Yeah. Rico's a pilot. Earthquake. We're right down the street. Yeah, so this is kind of what happens. You know, unfortunately, guys call me and they're like, dude, can you ship me a guitar? And I did ship a guitar a couple of weeks ago up to Michael Smith, who's on the Johnny Bean show. I hang out with that YouTuber Johnny Bean, and I go on his Saturday Night Live every once in a while. And my buddy Neanderthal goes on that channel every once in a while. And I did ship him a guitar, but I really hate shipping guitars. And eventually one day I'll get to the point where everything is, you know, on a web page and everything is ready to be shipped. But for me, man, I'm not up for it right now. Too much work. Oh, here comes a guy with a guitar. Hold on, you guys can be part of this, okay? Here we go. Hey, man, how you doing?
So, do you guys play guitars, right?
Sure. Let me see what you got.
It is a Ibanez signed by, like really signed by him.
Signed by who?
Right here. Let's see. George Benson. Inside the sticker is really signed by him. It's a GB10, 2800 and at Guitar Center.
Did you buy it at Guitar Center?
My dad bought it a long time ago.
Oh. What are you hoping to get out of it?
Awesome job you have, bro. You just sit down and play guitar all day? Go. There's not a single scratch on it. It's like never.
What's the best price I could get it for?
1,000.
Where'd you come up with that price? Just off the top of your head?
It's 2,800 just for the guitar.
Ibanez, I don't think an Ibanez is ever $2,800.
Look it up on the internet.
Okay. Hold on just a second, okay?
Cool.
Guys, I'm going to look this thing up, so I'm going to let all you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll come on one time next week. Please watch my videos, okay? My video views are struggling right now. My channel is in the toilet. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Later.
You too.